So today we're gonna start off. I'm going to tell y'all I'm doing good. How you doing? Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all today we're gonna be making Nashville chicken sandwiches with some French fries. I wanted something real simple tonight. I've been a little under the weather today, but I said, you know what? What I wasn't gonna do is not show up and not do this because we already said that this is our thing. This is what we doing every single day. So that's what we doing. So we're also going to be going over chapter 4 of the Bible today in Genesis and really talking about like what it means, what it stands for, and all that stuff. So I do not have buttermilk for my sandwiches today. If you have buttermilk in your refrigerator or you go to the grocery store because you're preparing for your meal, I will for sure tell you get some buttermilk because when you frying chicken, buttermilk only gonna make it better. Now what happens is I'm moving like in the next 7 days. So I don't want my fridge full of stuff that I don't need. So I'm trying to clear out my fridge, not add stuff back into it, my freezer and my fridge. So I was like, we're gonna make it do what it do. So I got my chicken breast, but what I did marinate it in, if y'all know anything about this peppercini juice. Oh my God, so it's like pickle juice, but then it's a little spicy, got like a little spice to it. It's super bomb. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let me wash my hands real quick and then we're gonna jump into our thing because y'all know what our thing is. All right, wash my hands. All right, y'all. I'm ready now. So yesterday we talked about in 3 and 4, if y'all remember, we have been through 1, we've been through 2, we've been through 3. And so we've been understanding each and every day, we've been breaking down what's been going on. So I'm going to start by reading. Once we start reading and we have something to talk about, then I will go do my little food thing. Then I'll come back and forth from there. So we can go ahead and get started. I don't want y'all waiting on me. All right. So in Genesis chapter 4, somebody just asked me a question. Sorry, y'all. Somebody said, how long you marinate your chicken? So if it's like buttermilk, 24 hours. I really like it broke down. But if I'm like really on the fly, it at least got to be 2 to 3 hours where you really got that juice sitting in. And sometimes I get something to like stab it a little bit to make sure all of it gets out in there. You know, make it taste real good. You get the seasoning doing this what the seasoning do. All right. So we're going to start in Genesis 4. And we're reading from the Amplified version. If y'all don't remember, I'm always here to remind y'all we're not reading from the King James. I have the two-sided Bible. This is what I show y'all every day. So King James and Amplified just helps us kind of break down some of them hard words that we may not understand. So today it says, and Adam knew Eve as his wife. That's why God said, be fruitful and multiply. This is already my wife. So we're speaking in the terms of everything God is telling them is from the wifely perspective. I choose you, you choose me. We rocking together for life. We really getting it on. Y'all know how that go. Wifey status, right? So he said, and he knew him as his wife, and she became pregnant and bore Cain. And she said, I have gotten and gained a man with the help of the Lord. Whew. If God sent you a man, if God sent you that man you've been looking for, if God sent you that one man that you've been looking for, you better be real intentional to make sure you keep that chain and lock and you do what you're doing to keep what it is. Because if God sent it to you, it is blessed and ordained already. Everything going from there is only going to get better because you got somebody with God on your side. Like, let's stay there. Let's remember. So then, and next she gave birth. Hold on. Let me make sure I ain't skip nothing. Yeah, I've gained a man from the Lord. And next she gave birth to the brother Abel. Now, Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So one got the sheep, one is tilling the land. And of course, at the time, Cain was brought to the Lord an offering of fruit of the ground. And Abel brought the firstborn of his flock and of the fat portions. And the Lord had respect and regard for what Abel had brought for his offering. But then when it came to Cain, he really didn't have no respect or regard. So Cain exceedingly got angry and he looked sad and he looked depressed. So when you sing here, we're using God. This is speaking about God. But any time in life that you sit here and you say, you know what, I'm putting my full-fledged energy into here. I'm making sure like this is what I got going on. And you bring something to somebody, you take your time to do something with somebody and they kind of like disregard it. They kind of like, I don't really like that. this is okay, but this isn't as good as what this was. So and so brought me this. I really, really like this. You might feel some type of way. You might be like, all right, I don't know who raised you, but you just supposed to say thank you. But the Lord didn't say thank you. The Lord wasn't pleased. He was like, I feel like you could have done a little bit more. I feel like you could have done a little bit better. And for that, go try again. But he didn't like that. So once that happened and the Lord had said to Cain, why are you angry? Like, I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm telling you that I know you could do better. I created you. I know what's going on. And why do you look so sad and depressed? If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you do not do well, sin will crouch at your front door for the desire of you. You must master it. And Cain said to his brother, let's go out to the field. And when they went out in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel, and he killed him. And the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel, your brother? And he said, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, you are. So in that moment, it's like, all right, I already know something fishy going on. You see, when I tell you the Bible is full of drama, like if you like reality TV and you like a little bit of spruce sipping your life every single day, and you really your life kind of do it like mine, you just be kicking it. You just be minding your business. I like to stay side. I like to stay inside. If you like that, okay, that's cool. But if you go to this Bible, baby, you don't need nothing else. There's so much stuff going on up in this Bible. Crazy. So then he say, am I not my brother keeper? And so the Lord said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. Now you are cursed by reason of the earth, which has opened the mouth to receive your brother's blood shed from your hand. And you shall till this ground, and it shall no longer yield you its strength. You shall be a fugitive, and you should be on earth and exiled. Then Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me out from the day of the face of the land, and your face I will be hidden. I will be a fugitive and a vagabond and a wanderer of the earth. Whoever will find me is going to kill me. So you know, like when you do something wrong, this is what I interpret. Y'all already know what we do every single day. If you have a different interpretation than what I have, I want you to express it. I want you to be open and vulnerable and let me know what you think, because you could probably teach me something. I'm just telling y'all what I understand. So when I heard this, I heard God say, you done did something wrong. And I hear the voices of cry of what you've done wrong. So with me knowing that, he got Cain saying, well, I'm just going to go hide. I'm no longer worthy of you. And the sin is still sin in this part of the Bible. So now he's just trying to get away. So, you know, like you ever done something wrong and you ever done something that you know is not God-like or very much against the Bible. And then all of a sudden, now you start seeing that your disconnect with God starts to happen because you're trying to go hide yourself onto something that you've done. And so in these moments, we have to be able to seek God and ask for forgiveness and give God the chance to receive our forgiveness, because you're already forgiven for whatever. Not in this part of the Bible, but it's coming. And so Cain at this point, he's like, so like, I did something wrong. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to go hide from you. And whoever going to find me going to kill me. Like, I already did that, so they going to come do that back to me. But God said, He told him, he said, therefore, if anybody kills Cain, in vengeance shall be taken out on him sevenfold. And the Lord set the mark and sign up against Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. And Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod. That means wandering in the Bible terms. And east of Eden is where it was. And Cain's wife, one of Adam's offsprings, became pregnant and bore Enoch. And Cain built the city and named it after his son. To Enoch, the son was born Irad, and Irad was the father of MJ. And MJ was the father of MS. And MS was the father of Lamech. And so Lamech had 2 wives, honey. Y'all thought that this polygamy thing just started in 2024. No. It speaks from the Bible from the beginning of the times that this has been a thing. He had 2 of them things. 2 of them. They knew about each other. It wasn't no messiness. So when I read this part of the Bible, this is when I learned to mind my business. Because I'm like, okay, you know, you might see other people when they do like the polygamy thing and stuff, and you hear a lot of people say like, this is not Christ-like, this is not da 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 da. I get what you're saying, but in the Bible, this is what was going on, and the things that was going on in the Bible, these people were still blessed. So this is when I'm on the term of, I mind my business. Whatever make you happy and however you serve your Lord is what you serve your Lord. But if that's how they love, that's how they love, and it worked for them. Because in the Bible, he had the 2 wives, right? And so one was named AD, and the other name was Zillah. And AD bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwelled in the tents and the cattle that purchased the possessions. And his brother name was Jabal, who was the father of those who played the lyre and pipe. Zillah bore TC. Now, TC was the father of instruments of bronze and iron. The sister was Nemeh, is how I say her name. So once I started reading this, we're almost done with this chapter right here. But before I keep going, this chapter was all about, to me, envy. Let me get something real quick. This chapter was all about envy, and it was about jealousy. How Cain and Abel, how Cain handled Abel because he brought something to the Lord, and he didn't feel like the Lord was pleased with him. And so what happened, he got jealous, he got envious because you got the recognition and I didn't, and I put in on my time, I put in on my effort. Put this into real life, y'all. Put this into your real life and say, has there been a moment in time where you or somebody you knew was around you and something good was going for you, you were getting praise, you were getting worship, you were getting all the spotlight, and from there, people around you might have got jealous. People around you might have not been so happy for you because it's not them, it's you, right? And so I want to be careful, like, to make sure that I put out the point. Jealousy and envy kills. And even if that isn't in the literal sense, that is in the sense of will kill your spirit, will kill your soul, will kill your desires, and enough will kill whatever relationship you have with them and kill your relationship somewhat, try to take you away from the Lord, because that's one of the seven deadly sins. So when you know that, you like, okay, I'm not saying that sometimes just human nature doesn't make us like, dang, like I see them winning. I'm not really hating on them. Like I'm not really trying to be negative and nasty. But at certain points, we need to be able to say, I'm not happy, Lord. I'm not happy that you are blessing everybody around me. I'm not happy that you sitting here dropping XYZ on everybody else, and you ain't showing up for me. And I feel like I've been diligent, I've been faithful, I'm bringing my offerings to you, I'm trying to serve you, and you not showing up. People think that that's nasty, and they think they're like, oh, if I do that, I ain't real. I ain't real. I'm hating. Da, da, da. No, the Lord is the one person that you can cast all your desires and all your thoughts and all your fears and all your anger and all your aggression out on. And so when you hear that, that's what I hear. And that's how you remove jealousy. That's how you remove envy, because that is going to be a natural emotion from humans. Every now and then you will start to question, why is so-and-so happening for them and not me? So every now and then, not saying you're not even happy for them. You could be so proud of them. You could be so like elated for them. But secretly in your heart, you like, I'm happy for them, but I wish it was me. And when you get to that point and you get to, you know, when you start to feel that, that's not a negative feeling. You should not shy away from that feeling. That's when you go into prayer. That's when you ask God to help deliver you from whatever you're battling with at that point, because that is a human emotion that is very much natural. And people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to seem like a hater. They don't want to seem like, oh, I'm trying to pray on your downfall. I'm not. I'm just praying up for mine, and mine ain't Cain. So in turn, you know, I'm kind of feeling some type of way. And so that's what Cain should have done. But instead, he went and took the life of his brother. And we about to keep diving in. I'm going to use a little bit of hot sauce for this chicken seasoning. All right. And I'm going to get my little, I got a little bag of secret seasoning that I be mixing up. All right. So let me, hold on, y'all. Let me get my flour. Let me get my flour. Let me get my eggs. All right. So jealousy jealousy and envy. We ain't trying to have none of that. And if we do have it, just know that it's natural. Work through that. Don't shy away from that. That's when you go to prayer. That's when you drop on your knees and say, God, today I may not be fixed. I may not be delivered. You may not can fix it in this moment. But God, I ask you to restore my heart. I ask you to renew my mind. I ask you to please help me and guide me through this moment where I feel like you are leaving me and you are forsaking me. God, what are you doing? It's okay. God should be the person who you can be the most vulnerable with at all times. And I've been here. So that's why I'm speaking to y'all. Like, I want y'all to understand. When I read this, I was like, I've been here. Like, I'm very positive. I'm very loving. I'm very uplifted. I'm very like, you call me with something good, I'm like, you better. But I will be lying to you if I haven't had my moments where I'm like, God, I'm so happy for them. And I'm so thankful that you decided to bless them because I see the work and the effort they've been putting in. But God, do you not see what I'm putting in? Do you not see what I've been doing? Like, are you coming for me? Are you coming to save me? Because I'm trying everything. Like, I've had those moments. And so instead of trying to hide away from that, like God already don't know, I'm open with it. And I come with it like, this is who I am. I'm laying all my burdens at your cross. I'm laying all my imperfections at your cross, and I'm asking you to help me with it. And again, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but if I continue to pray and I continue to walk in your word and I continue to be who I am, it's going to work. Okay? So we're going to keep going. So then Zillah bore, we already read that. So Limit said to his wives, AD and Zillah, hear my voice. Your wives of Limit, listen to what I say. For I have slain a man, and that means merely, for wandering me, and a man only for striking and bruising me. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, Limit will be again avenged 77fold. And Adam's wife began to become pregnant again, and she bore a son and named him Seth. For God said, who has appointed me another child instead of Abel? For Cain slew him. And to Seth was also a son, and he was named Enosh. And from that, the God called upon the name of the Lord. And that's the end of 4. So all I got from 4 was envy and greed will end your life. Envy and greed will end the lives of those around you if you don't know how to handle it. So y'all can tell me in this moment, like, what did y'all get from that? If y'all didn't get that and y'all got something completely different, hook your sister up. Hook your sister up. And if you did get it, make sure you hitting that heart. Make sure you hitting that like. Make sure you telling me like, no, sis, I get it. All right, so on Facebook, no, this Instagram, it's easy to talk from a good position. I don't know your history, but think about it. People don't know how to use that kind of feeling. So I'm going to tell you, I done been to the bottom of the bottom. You didn't know my position, but I'm open with my story or what it is. I have been to the bottom of the bottom. When I say the bottom of the bottom, 3 years ago, I was sleeping with my family on other people's couches. Like, we didn't have our own house. We didn't have our own place to stay. We had a little bit of money to be able to help throw into the house and stuff, but we didn't have nothing. I grew up in a religious house, meaning my mama didn't go to church every single day, but my grandma, both of my grandmas, was real big in their word, real big in their faith, and that helped me, and that kind of rubbed off on me because my mama might not went to church because she was working and stuff, but my grandma would make sure, oh, I'm swinging through the curb to come pick you up. You need to be ready. And our church was actually right down the road from my house. So if my grandma couldn't make it to come pick us up, you better walk to this church. You better get to this. I better see you at this church at 9 o'clock a.m. sharp, Sunday school, and I'm coming to check. So that's the way I grew up in. So I always knew no matter what happened to me, I could always rely on my faith. But I had been down. I had been out. I had been without. And in those moments, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I'm happy for other people, but I'm also like, God, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I am being vocal. God, you are failing me. Like, I am trying to uplift your word. I am trying to praise you. I am trying to do all of that. And in this moment, I don't feel like you love me. I don't feel like you're showing up for me. I don't feel what's going on right now. I have been to that space. But being vocal with that and being able to articulate that in a room by myself, on my knees, only me and my creator, good things came from that. And so that's when they say when you get quiet, that's why I always tell people you got to get alone. And when I get alone, when I say get alone, I mean you have to get into a room. You have to get by yourself. You have to sit there, and when times get hard, you can't go run out to your friends, go party and say, I need a distraction. You can't go out there and say, oh, today, you know what? I'm down. Let me go get a drink. Like, no, you got to sit in that. Because when you take the time to sit in that, all that happens is God really starts to speak to you. And you start hearing what you should be doing. You start hearing how you should be moving. You start hearing the plans of you're not here yet. But if you follow the guidance that I'm giving you right now, all the voices in your head have been me. If you follow those, I promise you, you're going to come out on the brighter side. And that's what happened. We sat there. We did that. We did this for, I want to say, 8 or 9 months. We were sleeping on people's couches, and not just one person couch. We were sleeping on multiple couches. We were here. Me and my family. It wasn't just me. And after that, we just praying, fasting, staying steadfast. It's not like a whole bunch of money came about. It's not like we got rich. It's not like none of that happened. It was God put us in a space to meet with the right person at the right time, and everything changed, and we got our own house. And for me, that was like a huge blessing because I was praying to God. I was just praying like, God, all we need is our own space. All I need is a space to be able to raise my family safely, and all I need is a space to be able to make sure that I can keep a roof over our head and make sure I can afford it. That's all that it was. And so I wasn't praying for the mansions. I wasn't praying for the pools. I was praying, hey, give me a roof. And he gave me more than I asked for. He gave me more rooms than I asked for. He gave me more space than I asked for. He gave me more everything than I asked for. So that's what I'm saying. If you are in that position, I have been there. So don't think I'm no different from you. I have for sure been there. Give me a second. Let me get this stuff in my flour. So that was on IG. Amen. I don't like it. Like, I don't want y'all to think that, like, I'm not, like, preaching to y'all and stuff. I just want y'all to know, like, I'm so big because I've lived it. So I don't like when people be telling people and they only show the good and they only talk about the good. Because let's be real. Like they just said, everything's not good. So when I'm down on my faith, you sit here showing me these. I don't show y'all none of this because I don't got none of this. But when you sit here showing me the Lamborghinis and saying, God is good. You sit here showing me the 10-bedroom house with the 8-bedroom bathrooms and all this. God is good. But you haven't showed me what God delivered you from. It's really hard for me to be able to resonate with you because I'm kind of like, I mean, I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing, but I ain't seen no struggle. So I'm here to show you the struggle. I'm here to show you, like, no, God can change nothing into something, and y'all get to watch that journey of what that looks like. Nobody has it all. Let me season this stuff real quick, y'all. I gotta season my little flour. I'm coming. All right, and then we're gonna do a little bit of paprika in there. We're gonna season this thing up, y'all. You gotta season your flour because that's where the, the skin, the country, like the little crunchy skin, that's where they come from. So make sure you season it up real well. You know what they say, if you ain't sneezing, you ain't seasoning. All right. But I also got seasoning going on top of my chicken, so I'm going to not do too much. I'm gonna mix this up. All right. What got you? Oh, I'm not upset. This is how I talk. So you gotta understand, so it's two different Ambers. You got Amber, who is social media, happy and stuff, and I'm still very happy much right now. And then you got like Amber, who passion. And when you get to talking about God, and you get to talking about like how good he is and stuff, that wounds me up. Not in a bad way either, like a beautiful way. Like that wounds me up because I do have a testimony. So when people think they're like, oh no, everything looks so good. I love when people ask me that because I love to be able to tell you, oh, everything that glitters ain't gold. Everything's not perfect. But you still got a chance to do it again and you can still get out there. So that's all that is. I'm sorry if I was yelling at y'all. Y'all know I don't want to be aggressive. All right. We're going to move into 5 in a second, y'all, because we're going to get here. So, before we go to 5, though, sorry, my booty in your face. So, before we go to 5, everybody got 4? Everybody got 4? Make sure everybody got 4. Somebody said, get your bee in a bag. Get your bee in a bag. I don't know what that means, but okay. Get your bee in a bag. But it's cool to know, like, I like, it's cool because you do, like, God sends people to help you. But I have literally since, like, 4 or 5 years ago, my desire is to retire my husband. Like, my desire is, like, I'm going to, God has given me so many visions and so much light that I know that's something I could do. Make sure it's not too hot. Oh, that is kind of hot. Okay, hold on. So you don't want to put your grease in there when it's too hot, y'all. You'll burn your chicken. Your chicken got to cook. So we're going to cool the grease off for a second. So I've been running my mouth. Hello, 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 hello. So we got our eggs here. We got our flour here. And again, if you had buttermilk, you would have soaked that in buttermilk for a while. So while I'm waiting for that to heat up, we're going to go on to 5. Because I want to try to do at least 2 chapters every day if we can. So we can make sure that we learning and we getting through our Bible. Because we're going to read this whole Bible. Like, if you're going to stick around with me and we're going to really do what we're going to do, we're going to read this whole Bible. So let's get to it. All right. So now we in 5. And I have this highlighted. So let's see why. Okay. So this is the book, the written record, the history of the generation of the offspring of Adam. When God created man, he created him in the likeness of God. That's why I highlighted it, because we talked about this yesterday. We want to make sure that everybody understands that you were made in the image of God. And so we're going to kind of throw something in there. This is just kind of like a hee hee ha ha moment, but it's for real. So Kanye ain't too crazy. And when I say that Kanye ain't too crazy, when he be walking around, he be like, Jesus, I'm God, I am God. I don't know how he's saying it. But when you read this verse and you read the verses prior to this, and it says that God created you in the image of him. And then God created you in the likeness of God. That might be what he's talking about, y'all. He might be like, no, I am God because God is inside of me. And that is what the verse says. God is inside of you. God created you out of his image. If you walk in that, if you exude that, then that might be what he's talking about. So we just gonna drop that here and we're gonna keep going. So he created them, both male and female, and blessed them and named them both Adam, man, at the time that they were created. And when Adam had lived 130 years, this is when it started getting real messy. And I say messy in the time zones. So don't get stuck in all the numbers. Because if you get stuck in the numbers, you ain't going to be able to get past the numbers. Because it's a lot of numbers. Okay? So, let's see. You had Adam. Adam lived 130 years. He had sons in his own likeness after his image, and he named them Seth. Remember, he's made in God's image. Seth is made in his image, which he is made in God's image. So, Seth is made in God's image. Okay, and we're going to keep going now. So, Adam lived 800 years total. And he had other sons and daughters. So when they used to calculate how long you live, it was based on your lineage of how long everybody lived before they start having kids. So if you had like kids on kids on kids on kids on kids, and that's what it was tracking, that was your lifespan. Because that's why they say legacy is so important. Like, you may pass away today, but if you got kids and you got grandkids and you got grandkids, then all of them are going to be able to carry on your legacy, are going to be able to carry on a part of you. So that's why it's really big to make sure, if you can, spread your lineage as far as it can go. All right? And so then you have, let's see. So when Adam was 130 years, he had a son. Adam lived 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. So altogether, Adam lived 930 years before he died, before everybody after him had died. And then you had Seth, that was 105 years. Then Enosh was born, and Seth lived after the birth of Enosh for 870 years and had other sons and daughters. Let me dip this stuff. All right. And then so Seth lived 912 years, and he had died. And then Enosh had lived 90 years, and then Canaan was born to him. And Enosh lived after the birth of Canaan for 815 years from his son and his daughters. So Enosh technically lived 905 years, and then he died. When Canaan was 70 years old, ML was born. And Canaan lived after the birth of Eniel for 840 years and had other sons and daughters. So Canaan lived for 910 years and then he died. And this goes all the way down. So I will read it just for y'all's benefit so we can say that we read it. But this is not going to get us into the meat and potatoes of what we're looking for, but I'm going to make sure that we do not skip this, because if they put it in here, they wanted us to understand, they wanted us to know. So let me get this frying and then I will. Oh, that's such a beautiful fry. Y'all heard that? Like, it was so beautiful. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get this frying, and then I will go back to reading these years so we can move through that. But let me see. So what I can take from this, though, I'm trying to think. Like, what do I take from this? I guess from this, I take be fruitful and multiply. When God commanded you to be fruitful and multiply, it was for this reason. He wanted to make sure that, let me put this on 8 minutes. He wanted to make sure that you had a lineage going. Make sure you didn't, when you passed away, it didn't end with you. So men out there who are not having kids, if you can't have kids, I'm not talking to you. There's a ways though you can adopt. You can, like, there's plenty of, adoption is very big, and there's plenty of people who need a home. My cousin actually is married to somebody who needed to be adopted, and they have a beautiful family now. So I very much believe in adoption. My dad was adopted, so I believe in adoption. But if you can have kids and stuff, make sure that you're spreading that love. Make sure you're spreading that light to whoever you can, because you don't know whose life you're changing, whose life you're saving. And what they say, God is love. All right. I might be able to get one little one in there. I don't know if I got a little one. Oh, that's a little bit chicken. That's a little bit chicken. So we're gonna go ahead and get that one in there. I need to make sure my timer going so they can, I don't want to put too much time in between them, make sure they all cook good. But when I cook this, I do get thin chicken breasts. And if the thicker chicken breasts are on sale, what I do is I get the thicker one and then I cut them in like 3-4 pieces, so then they become thin. So I still get that good cook and crust on each side. This is going to be the last piece I'm putting in this one because they need room to breathe. And they need room to fry, so we're going to give them that room they need. Alright, and I'm going to wash off my hands and I'm going to come back, y'all. Alright. I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. Don't leave me just yet. All this stuff on my hand. I got that flour all over my nails. Alright, so we're back. So we start with Canaan. So let's keep going. So then we had Canaan for 910 years. He died. Okay, then we had ML. He was 65 years old. Jared was born. ML lived to the birth of Jared 830 years, and he had other sons and other daughters. And then ML lived to be 895 years total, and then he died. So then we had Jared was 162 years old. Enoch was born. Jared lived to the birth of Enoch for 800 years, and then Jared had sons and daughters. And then Jared lived to be 962 years, and he died. And then Enoch was 65. ML was born. There was another, okay. No, this one was, we can say, yeah, MS. We're going to call him MS. Enoch walked in habitual fellowship with God after the birth of ML 300 years, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch was 365 years. And Enoch walked in habitual faith with God, and he was not, for God took him home with him. And when ML was 178 years old, Lamech was born to him. And then ML had died after birth 782 years after that. And so we're going to keep going. Lamech was now 82 years old with a son born, the name of Noah. because Noah's gonna be important. So that's why we can't. That's why we can't stop going, because you got to make sure, like, these names popping up, we're gonna need these later on in the Bible. So we got to be intentional to make sure we read this. Cause I used to skip this. I ain't gonna lie. I read Genesis, y'all, like 8, 9 times now, maybe more than that. And I was like, yeah, I got to a point where I was like, I'm skipping all these names, but the names are very important later on. Are you reading Genesis? I am. We started in the beginning of the book. And so, Imel lived to the birth of Lamech 782 years and had other sons and daughters. And so he was 969 years old when he died. And then I said, okay, he named Noah, saying, this shall bring us relief and comfort for our work, and of the toil of our hands due to the ground being cursed by the Lord. So Lamech's birth after Noah was 595 years and had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech was 777 days, and he died. Now, the number 7 is my favorite number. I don't know what your favorite number is, but that is really mine. Is it possible to live those years in today's life? Excuse me. So when you're reading this, you see, like, they tell you, like, oh, they live. So the life expectancy back in the day was shorter and then longer of what it is now. And so when they're adding up the time, from what I gather, is that was the lineage of their family. So the kids, until you come to a generation where that kid doesn't have a kid, and then the generation ends of that lineage of family. That's what I gathered. If you gather something else, you can tell me. Let me know in the chat. And that was the end of that chapter. And then we're going to move on into 6 in a second. You also gonna make some French fries. Get the oil ready for the French fries. This helps me not go out to fast food, y'all, because it is very easy for me to order Chick-fil-A or order Checkers. I like Checkers fries a lot. So this is what helps me, like, okay, stay on tack, baby. Don't go nowhere. Just eat at home. And so I was like, okay, well, instead of buying the chicken sandwich, I can make the chicken sandwich. So that's why we're doing this. But this is going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. And I can't wait for y'all to see the finished product. I don't eat, like, all the other stuff on it. So, like, the relish and the pickles and the mayonnaise. I don't eat mayonnaise. So my sandwich is very much like meat in the bread. And so that's how I make it. But if you have cabbage, cabbage would be a really, really good thing to add to this. So if you got the cabbage and you slice it very finely, and you put a little bit of carrot mixed with that, and you kind of like saute it for a second, or you mix it with like some olive oil. Ooh, it look good. I can't tell you that it tastes good because I ain't never tasted it, but I will say that it look good. Like I said, read the word as you cook. Might it bless you to provide a message to others to understand. It jumped. To understand. Thank you for his word and his name. Amen. Okay, I got you. What you making? I am making Nashville hot chicken sandwiches with French fries. All right, so we're gonna move into 6, and we still there. So if y'all still here, if y'all still rocking me, y'all let me know. Can y'all just like hit some hearts so I know everybody's not asleep right now, because I know that you might get a little tired. But this is gonna help you. This is gonna benefit you a long time. I see y'all. I got you. Let me flip this real quick. And I gotta do one more thing, y'all, before I start reading this thing. Alright. So what I do, I get my rack out of my oven. But if you have like an actual rack that's not in your oven, use that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my rack like this over some paper towels. And so as my chicken comes out, I can lay it there and it don't get soggy, because you don't want it to be soggy. All right, so we're gonna go on to 6, y'all, while this is frying. What's that time is done? Oh, it smells so good. I'm ready to eat it now, y'all. All right. So Genesis chapter 6 says, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth with daughters were born to them, and the sons of God saw that the daughters of the men were fair, and they took wives, and they desired, and they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not dwell and strive for man. He is also flesh. But this day shall yet be 120 years. So there were giants on the earth in these days. And afterwards, the sons of God lived with the daughters of the men, and they bore children to them. These were mighty men who were old, men of renown. The Lord saw the wickedness of the man in the great earth, and saw every imagination and intention of all humans, thinking it was only evil that was going to continue. And the Lord regretted the decision that he had made on earth, and he was grieved at heart. So, at this point, you got to remember that the Bible is stories, but these stories are sped up. So, reading that one passage could have been 50 years, 75 years, 100 years. That could have been the time length of that, but they're going to shorten it down to make you understand the story of what's going on. I don't know the number of years because I didn't specify it, but I'm telling you this could be a long time. But after a while, it became what it is now. It became everybody doing what they want to do. Everybody just living how they want to live. Not really trying to necessarily look for God. Just out there running by the flesh instead of by the spirit. And everybody knows the spirit leads you in the right direction. But our flesh is very strong. Our flesh is very heavy. And because we're humans, that's why Jesus died on the cross for us, to be able to forgive those sins. Because, of course, they knew later on that was going to come. But in this moment, he's saying, y'all doing too much. And it doesn't look like what I wanted it to be created as. It doesn't look like the pureness that I created it as, because y'all are human. Y'all are flawed. So what is he going to do? And we got a comment in the chat. I want to make sure I try to answer them today. Share the word of the message where others may not be able to receive it. God is working in his name and blessing upon Jesus' name. Period. Amen. Amen. So let's go. Y'all ready? We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, boo. So we got, so the Lord said, I'm going to destroy this. Like what I've created, I'm about to destroy it. And I'm going to blot out and wipe away mankind, who I have created for the face of the ground. Not only man, but the beasts and the creeping things of the birds in the air, and it grieves me and makes me more regretful that I have made them. So at this point, we made Jesus very upset. We made his heart cry. We made him say, what did I do? Like I thought that all this was good. On the seventh day, I said everything I did was great. And now I'm sitting here watching it play out into earth, and it's not great. But Noah, remember we just talked about Noah because Noah was born. So Noah, thank you. So Noah found grace, and grace meant favor in the eyes of the Lord, and was just a righteous man, blameless in his own evil generation. And Noah walked in habitual fellowship with God. And Noah said to the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the earth was depraved in God's sight, and the land was filled with violence. And so that meant assault. That meant lust for power. That meant outrage. That meant infringement. And God looked upon the earth and saw that he had created something, that humanity had corrupted their own way of earth and lost their true direction. Now, when I read this, I put it in our 2025 terms. And I'm like, okay, everything that we're doing, not everybody, because you see, there are people who found favor in God's eyes. So that doesn't mean just because the majority of the world is doing something that you are not the one who stands out. Thank you. You're not the one who stands out, because that's not what God said. God found Noah because he stood out. And so in 2025, with everything going on, and everything playing out how it's playing out, I don't want you to walk by fear. I want you to walk by faith. And I want you to be understanding to know that it's a lot of noise out here. It's a lot of people telling you the world's about to end. It's a lot of people telling you that there's nothing you could do, like this is the end of times. And it may be, but from the Bible that I have read, it tells you you will not know the day, you will not know the hour, you will not know the time. So while you still have the opportunity, I want you to take advantage of that. I want to make sure that you are actively just doing the best you can do. And if you are being the best person that you can be, that is not saying that you're not going to be flawed. That's not saying that you're not going to sin. I will ask you though, don't be on this internet or don't be out in public passing judgment on others. when you are not a perfect creature yourself. So yeah, you may not like how they do this, or you may not like how they do that. But I'm telling you, it's stuff in your closet. Or every day, if somebody call you and they say, "Hey, I got a question. I would like you to come do XYZ for me today," and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta babysit the kids." Baby, your kids at your mama house. You ain't gotta do that. But it sounds good. That's a lie. That's against the Bible. That's a sin. If you go out and you take somebody's jacket and you bring it back, that's thieving. You should not steal. That ain't right. If you call your mama, or you ignore your mama, you ignoring your daddy, you ignoring, like, you being a little disrespectful, a little short, because like, I'm grown, and people love to say, I'm grown now. Okay, that also is an abomination to God. You should not be doing that. You should respect your father. You should respect your mother. So knowing all that, I want to make sure that we are not casting judgment on other people. We are just being the best version of ourselves that we can be every day. We're showing up in the best way that we can every day. That is not me telling you that you ain't gonna make sin. That's not me telling me that I ain't gonna make sin. I'm gonna sin. I'm probably not gonna answer my phone and tell somebody I ain't see it. I'll probably do that. And so I'm understanding that we are humans and sometimes we do that stuff, but try to be the best version of yourself, because when you do that, God finds favor on you. And that's what he did with Noah. So when the earth was depraved in God's sight and the land was filled with violence, God took it upon the earth and sowed, he said it was degenerate. It was vicious for all humanity, and it was too corrupt. It was too corrupt and vicious for people to keep going on. So God said to Noah, I intend to make an end of all of this flesh. Through the land is going to be filled with violence, and behold, I'm going to destroy all of this. And that's what people tell you that we're living in now. That's what people tell you, like, oh, we're living in the end of times and all that stuff. I'm not here to plant fear in you. I'm not here to plant doubt in you, because I don't know if this is, being real with you, I think today is just the same as it was in 1998, to be honest with you. I did a lot of research, and in the research that I did, I'm cooking Nashville chicken, Nashville chicken sandwiches. So the research I did in 1998, people were saying the world was ending. They were saying, like, it was so much stuff going on that people were saying, like, oh no, the world's about to come to an end. I want y'all to know this is the end of times, this is the end of times. So this didn't just start in 2025. This has been going on for decades. And I'm sure I've known for decades, because I've only been born for decades, but it's probably been going on for centuries. So I don't want to let other people plant doubt in your mind, and I don't want to let other people make you move in fear on something you can't control anyways. So just be the best version of you, right? That's what I'm reading. Be the best version of you. And so God said, yeah, I'm going to end this all. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood and make it have rooms, stalls, pens, coops, cages, so on, and cover it in a pitch. And then the way you're going to make it 300 cubits, and it's going to be 50 cubits by 30 cubits. That is 450 feet by 75 feet times 45 feet. And you shall make it with a roof and a window, a place for above and a door of the ark that will slide of it, and you will make it lower than the second and the third story. For behold, I will bring food and water upon the earth and destroy it. And I'll put flesh under the heavens and bring the spirit of life to everything on the land shall die. But I will establish my covenant, and covenant is promise, pledge with you, that I shall come to this ark, and you and your sons and your wives will be with you. And everything with living flesh found on the land you shall bring two of to this ark, and keep them alive with you. And they shall be one male and one female. And of the fowl and the birds according to their kind, and these beasts, everyone creeping of the ground above kind. And two of these shall come with you, and they shall be kept alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and you shall collect and store it up, and it shall serve as food for you and them. Noah did this, and he did all that God commanded him. So we're going to stop right there for a second. Hold on, let me switch out my meat. We about to switch it out. It will look kind of crispy, so that's good. I like a little crisp. And I told y'all, so the reason why I put it on this, is so it don't get soggy on both sides. Because if you put like fried chicken on a plate, it's still going to be crunchy, but it's going to have like a little soggy side on it because of the grease. It's been sitting in the grease. So you want to make sure that you kind of lay it on something that the grease can just drip and it can still stay crispy, because we're going to have to toss this in a minute. And this is the chicken. This is the chicken. Good and fried. Good and tasty. Good and crispy. You feel me? If your chicken ain't crispy, you did it wrong. All right. And let me get these other ones. So we just moved through 6 and we moved through 5. And so from these, I've learned, that's when I say your walk with God is your walk with God. And I want to make sure that when I heard this, I was like, okay, so God was speaking to Noah. He wasn't speaking to no one else but Noah. And so in life, God may not be telling you to build an ark, but God may be telling you to build a business. God may be telling you to build your family. God may be telling you to store up something. God may be speaking to you, telling you different things. And I want to make sure just because what happens is as humans, because we're so close to other people, we'll go and we'll ask people like, hey, so this is what I'm thinking. And because God hasn't been telling them that and God hasn't been speaking to them in that way, they discourage us from what we've been hearing. And they throw us off of our path. So I'm here to tell somebody today, if you had a vision that's been from God, whether that is that business that you have been talking about starting for 3 years, that you've been telling you God has been speaking to you and you ain't been listening, or whether it is that family that you've been contemplating on building, but you're like, I just don't know if the time is right, or whether it is, something that you should be stacking up in this moment. And that doesn't have to be finances. That could be stacking up knowledge. That could be stacking up time, because God could be instructing you to stack up time with somebody around your family or your friends, because he could be about to, I like that one. He could be about to remove them, and he's trying to give you that opportunity in that moment to get those few extra memories with them. Whatever God has been speaking to you in this moment, I want to tell you, don't listen to other people and don't go to other people for validation on visions that God has given you, because God is specifically speaking to you. He's specifically making sure that you are where you're supposed to be. You don't know. A lot of people claim God. A lot of people claim like, oh, I believe this and I believe that. And I'm not saying they do, they don't. That ain't me to determine. You feel me? But I will tell you that you cannot let other people throw you off from what God has destined you to do or destined you to be or instructed you to move. Because what happens is you waste so much time. Then you come up, because if you don't do it, it's not like God gonna punish you. It's gonna be like, no, exactly what God was trying to prepare you from is going to happen. And then you're gonna think, oh, I'm being punished. No, you're not being punished. You just didn't listen. So for you not listening, exactly what I told you was gonna happen is gonna happen. So are you gonna listen? Are you going to be intentional? Are you gonna allow those around you to tell you what they believe is right and what they believe is wrong? Because one thing that I've learned about God is he's not going to give the same mission to somebody around here. So when I say that, I mean, your mission could be to reach people, right? But for me, my mission could be to reach, I'm just using this as an example. My mission could be to reach the girls who wear crop tops, the people who out there praising God but don't make it look like it's going to look. I could be here to reach the hoes and the hookers, because I dress the way I dress. I do what I do, but I still very much believe in God, and I still very much respect myself, and I still very much am very intentional with my connection with God. So that could be my mission. But your mission could be saving the church. Your mission could be feeding the needy. Your mission could be getting one of your family members right before he called him home, and he know he called him home real soon. So let me make sure before I call them home, I know that you're around them. I know that I placed you in their life for a reason. Please listen to me. Please follow me. Please listen to the vision that I'm giving you, because you're the only chance for them to be saved. And when you think about it that way, like, are you okay with letting somebody else's salvation die and them not getting the opportunity to meet God because you want to ask for approval from everybody else? I hope not. Because if you are, like, you're not only ruining, this is what I had to learn a while ago. When I used to say, well, it's just me, like, it's just affecting me. It's not. It's affecting you, and it's affecting every single person that God put in your path, because he needed you to open your mouth. And he needed you to, he said, placed you in my path because when I created you, I knew you were going to cross XYZ. I knew that you was going to run into so-and-so and so-and-so. I knew that you were going to be this person. But it's up to you whether you're going to use the words that God giving you. And what I always said to myself was, I'm not okay with my salvation being damaged. I'm not okay with that at all. But I'm for sure not okay with someone else missing out on a chance for them to meet God. I'm sure not okay for someone else to be almost condemned to hell because I was scared to open my mouth. What? No, like I'm okay with taking me down. I don't really want to take me down though. Like I want to be okay. But know that I can take other people down. I can like affect what other people got going on because I didn't open my mouth at the season that they needed me to. Oh no, baby, I'm not okay with that. I can't live with that. I can't live with knowing God popping up my dreams saying, I asked you to do something, you didn't do it, and now this is the consequence of that. I can't live with that. So because I can't live with that, I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Some people ain't going to like it. Some people are going to say, this is fraud. Some people are going to say, Jesus would never say this. Or some people are going to say, you shouldn't be doing this if Jesus sent you, or what. People are going to say what they want to say. But what I'm okay with is people on earth in the flesh saying what they're going to say. But what I'm not okay with is getting to the heaven gate and telling God, standing right down, 10 times down, like, God, I'm here. And him saying, you didn't do what I asked you to do when I asked you to do it. And so because of you, I lost 100 different souls. And for you, that might not seem like a lot because it's 7.7 billion people on this planet. But I needed every soul that I could get. Because by you not spreading that message to them, in turn, the people that I needed them to spread the message to, they could not reach because they didn't know it. So you created a domino effect. You thought it was just them. You thought it was just, if I don't say them, I'm just ruining 100 people. No, you ruined 100 people directly. But you ruined 100 million people indirectly by not opening your mouth. So you got to realize that everything has an effect. And are you willing to take that? Are you willing to have that on your shoulders? I'm not. So I'm going to spread the word of Jesus. I'm going to spread it how I know. I'm not claiming to be a preacher. I'm not claiming to know everything, but I am claiming to be finding my own understanding. And I am claiming to get into my word. And I am claiming to bring y'all on with me. So if you're on here at this point, it's because God directed you here. And this ain't for no likes. This ain't for no comments. You see, I barely can even read the comments. The likes is live. So God has blessed me with a presence in my own way. So I promise you, I get likes off of doing this. My little dances, I get likes off of doing that. I don't have to be going live. But this is like a very big thing to me. This is like a very big goal to me. Because all I've ever said when I started social media, from the day I started, I'm going to post Bible verses every single day. Because if this is the only taste of God that you get, at least you got a taste of God today. And if this is the only thing that you could read that could potentially change your mindset or save your soul, baby, thank God. So that's my mission. And that's why we're here. And I love to cook. And I love to cook. So, I'm cooking up a little something. On top of, like talking to y'all. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. You wash my hands. Hold on. I got all this flour on it. And it's stuck. It's up and it's stuck. Cardi B said that. Alright. Oh, it's real stuck, y'all. I'm going to scrub my fingers when I get off live. It's okay. I'm just going to wash them off a little bit now. I ain't going to waste y'all time, so I ain't going to scrub them, but they need to be scrubbed. How old you think I am? I'm old. You gonna eat. Oh, baby, you know one thing for sure too, baby. So, I'm gonna eat. We gonna eat right here. We don't waste no food. We don't miss no meals. We gonna eat. And that was let me tell y'all, so when I was telling y'all my testimony earlier, like a part of it, and I was telling y'all, like, we live with people. Hold on. This part is big and it ain't want to go in there. All right. So when I was telling y'all we live with people, it was so funny because when we were leaving, it was like, no, I would cook every night. So they like, wait a minute, you leaving? No, like we've been lit, we've been eating, we've been da-da-da. So it was really cool because I was like, okay, God sent me here and I needed them, not even understanding the value that I could add to them and not even understanding the presence that we have and what that was going to do to those families. So it was really cool in that moment because I never want anybody to feel like they're being used or abused or, like, That's just not me. I'll leave your space before I ever disrupt your space. So like if my spirit isn't feeding your spirit, I don't think that means I'm a bad person. I just feel like that means I'm not supposed to be here in this moment. And so I've never met nobody who's asked me to leave. But if it has ever come to a chance where they're like, you're hurting me, I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'm going to bounce out. Not in no bad way either. I'm going to tell you, like, hey, I love you. I'm so sorry. Like, that was never my intent. And da-da-da. But people was like, no, don't go, don't go, don't go. And I was like, okay, this is kind of lit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Chill, CJ, back smile. What that mean? I don't know what that means. I spread the word through poetry. Oh, I would love to. Okay, so one day we're gonna keep going through this Bible right now, but one day I would love to hear that. That is amazing. I actually like poetry, so that's really cool. That's really cool. So once we start getting through this Bible good and we start doing stuff like that, I would like to be able to add some people on and like y'all get like y'all spread the word how y'all spread the word, and so I can listen to you because I can do all the talking, I can do all of that, you know, but I want to make sure, like, maybe it's some day that if God telling me to, hey, no, today I don't want you speaking. I want you to be silent. I want you to listen. I want you to receive. I want to be able to do that and know that y'all got people on here like, we got you, sis. We got you, sis. We ready to do our big one. I'm ready for that. I'm so ready for that. I'm making Nashville hot chicken sandwiches and french fries, and I need to go ahead and probably start the fries. Y'all don't talk about me to my gas stove light right here, the only one. Broken. But I'm moving out in 7 days, like I said, so we ain't even gonna worry about it. We ain't even gonna worry about it. You feel me? Praising with Amber, that's amazing how you let God use you. I appreciate that. Because this was something that was really hard for me. So the first day, so I was sitting in my bed and I was just talking to myself. I'll give y'all the journey, I guess, before I finish this on how this happened. So I was sitting in my bed and I was saying, like, I don't like going live. Like, I feel like when I'm on live, I'm just like, I don't ever want somebody to use my words of me being pure against me. And so I don't really like going live like that, right? And so I was sitting in my bed and I was like, what happened if I go live and I tell fake stories? Now, fake stories meant like, y'all know how like on TikTok and stuff, you'll hear somebody telling a story, and by the end of their story, they done got ran over by a car, they done got kidnapped, they done got their boyfriend sleeping with their girlfriend, and it just be like a whole bunch of stuff, and you be so hooked in. I'm like, oh, what if I give people entertaining stories, and they could do that? And so that wasn't necessarily like, I was thinking about it, whatever. So I was sitting in my bed, I was reading my Bible, and I was reading Exodus actually. And as I was reading it, I was like recapping the story, and I was like, oh, what happened if I tell these stories, but in the terminology I use, but in a hood way where my community can understand it. Like, they may not understand thou art shall not, but they'll understand you better not do this. Like, so I was like, what happened if I put it in our slang and help them understand? And from there, this was born. So then I was like, okay, well, that would include going live. And I'm not like necessarily a live person, because what I don't want to happen is people use my spirituality against me, and people use the way that I interpret the Bible against me, because I'm being my most vulnerable self on these lives with y'all right now. Like, I am telling y'all, I'm telling y'all I don't know everything. I'm telling y'all I'm only telling y'all what I understand, and so I was really nervous about that. But God said go. I was like, go. And so I said, okay. If people get crazy with me, y'all already know. If you follow me on any other social media platform, you already know, baby, I'm a blocker. You say something crazy to me that I see, blocked, and I don't worry about it no more, because I don't allow stuff to disrupt my energy. But God was telling me, like, no, you need to do this. You need to make sure that, like, you need to get my word out. And maybe it is because stuff is happening at this time, or maybe it's just because he wants to be able to get people, because in another century, something will happen. Like, we never know. So I'm not necessarily living for the scariness. I know the planes are crashing. I hate that. I know people are losing their lives. I hate that. I know crime is up. I hate that. But what I do understand, I know people don't like the president. I hate that. But what I will tell you is that If you believe in God, everything gonna be okay. And that's how I live my life. So every day I wake up stress-free. Every day I wake up happy. Every day I wake up smiling. Every day I wake up full of joy and ready to serve. And she's not my servant. So you can smell it through your phone. I'm telling you, it smells so good. We're about to make the sauce. I want to try to make the sauce before I get off the phone with y'all so y'all can see. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm trying to hurry though, because I actually gotta go live on another platform in a few minutes. All right, they almost done. And what we're gonna do is so if I don't get a chance to finish it, because I'm gonna have to log off in like 3 minutes. So if I don't get a chance to finish it, what I'm gonna tell you is you can't have faith and live in fear. Period. You said that. You said that. That's on TikTok, y'all. You cannot have faith. You can't say, I believe in God, I got all this faith, and still be operating in fear. You gotta make sure if you saying you got faith, faith means I'm believing for everything to be okay. Faith means I already know that I'm protected. Faith means that I already know that I'm covered in it by the word of God, and nothing or no one can touch me, and nothing and no one can destroy me. That's what faith is. And when you have that, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. So that was good. I really like that. Want a sandwich? I need to turn on my thing. This sandwich like busting. I'm gonna take a picture for y'all like I did yesterday though. Or not yesterday, the day before, when I did a plate or whatever and I wasn't on here. And I posted a thing. It be busting. Y'all gonna hear that crunch. It's gonna be real good. Okay, but just in case, because we're gonna have to go ahead. So what's about to happen is I'm frying the rest of these sandwiches. They got about 4 more minutes. When I take them out, these are still hot as well. I'm gonna take a scoop of this grease with a spoon, okay? And I'm gonna take a glass bowl, not this. This will melt. So do not use plastic, please. I'm gonna use a glass bowl like this. This is actually what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna put my seasoning in there. This seasoning right here is Nashville hot seasoning. And I'm going to take a scoopful of grease. I'm going to mix it together, and then I'm gonna toss my chicken in it. And it's gonna be so good. So if you looking like how to make Nashville hot chicken, that's how you do it. And so, like I told y'all, if you like a real deal sandwich eater, and you be like, oh, I like all the stuff. This need to have pickles on it, like the sweet pickles. Need to have those. I'm a dill pickle eater, so I'll probably definitely pick dill. It need to have cabbage. So red cabbage, green cabbage, very fine slice. You could put a little bit of that mixed on the bottom, like mixed together and put on the bottom. And then you can use mayonnaise. I don't eat mayonnaise. I do not like cabbage on my sandwich. I like cabbage, but not on my sandwich. And then I like pickles, but not on my sandwich. So I'm gonna eat it the plain Jane way, but no problem, sweetie. Oh, no problem, cutie. You see, I'm trying to work out every day. We gonna hope God do it. But okay, I gotta jump off of this because I gotta go on a live with another one. But I'm so thankful that you guys tune in for another Food for Thought with Amber. We go live every single day, 7 days a week. While I'm cooking, we talk about the Bible. We keep going. We're gonna go verse by verse, and we're gonna break it down. And we're gonna talk about the understanding of whatever it is. So if you're available, if you're willing, if you want to talk about it, y'all don't forget to join in. The Cash App pin is not meant for you got to. It is literally just meant for if I want to support. All the time people ask me, what's your Cash App, what's your Cash App, what's your Cash App? So it makes it so much easier to pin it up there. So if you like it, you support. If you don't, it's cool. Like, it ain't no pressure, ain't no tea. But I will see y'all again tomorrow with another meal. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bye. And I'm about to log off for all y'all.